What makes access negotiations critical for humanitarian safety? Imagine trying to deliver life-saving aid into a conflict zone where roads are blocked and armed groups control every crossing. It's a tough situation, but access negotiations are the key to making it possible. These talks are essential because they help humanitarian workers reach vulnerable populations safely and quickly. Without them, it can get stuck, and civilians suffer more. Access negotiations are about more than just opening doors. They involve talking with both government and non-government armed groups who control the routes. The goal is to get permission for aid convoys, medical evacuations, and protection activities. These negotiations help overcome physical barriers like checkpoints, bureaucratic hurdles like permits, and security threats such as active fighting. They also help protect the safety of humanitarian personnel. When armed groups agree to safe passage, it reduces the risk of violence, kidnapping, or attacks on aid workers. Negotiators often seek guarantees of safety and respect for humanitarian space, which means aid is delivered without interference or political bias. Sometimes, they establish humanitarian corridors or even temporary ceasefires to ensure safe movement. Access negotiations uphold the principles of international humanitarian law, which say that aid must be provided based on need, without discrimination or support for any party involved. These talks help maintain the neutrality and independence of humanitarian organizations. They also build trust with conflict parties, which is vital in long-term crises where ongoing access is needed. Negotiations happen at many levels, from local leaders and armed groups to high-level diplomatic discussions with governments and international bodies. Skilled negotiators use cultural understanding, patience, and clear communication to reach agreements. They aim to ensure aid reaches those who need it most without putting humanitarian personnel at risk. Without effective access negotiations, aid workers face higher dangers, and aid can be blocked or politicized. This can lead to more civilian suffering and violations of international law. That's why access negotiations are a foundation for protecting humanitarian personnel and making sure aid reaches the vulnerable during conflicts. They turn complex, dangerous environments into safer spaces for aid to flow.